And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Yeah, last night Dr. Paul rocked him like a hurricane. Woo! Not a Herman cane, him a cane. Dr. Paul. What we're going to do now is I wanted to play little snippets of the debate last night. And it's so obvious to certainly any one of his supporters. And you got to wonder how many people are watching these debates. And what we didn't see, I mean, I've been looking. I mean, there's some online polls somebody did, and I can throw up a poll on Freedom's Phoenix, and we already know what the result's going to be. But, you know, I didn't see any of the texting, phone-in, CNN on the front page polls. Sierra, see if you can find something. Just, you know, put in GOP debate last night, date, Ron Paul poll, something. That, you know, CNN poll, Reuters, Gallup or something. Because I haven't found anything. And I'm looking, go look at Daily Poll or, you know, something. And I'm going, oh, seriously? They had polls coming out their rear last time. Well, they know what's going to happen. So they're like, no, we don't want to encourage them. So we just play some snippets here, and you can see why the American people are just coming around. I mean, how could they not? And if you have faith in freedom, liberty, the leave me aloneists out there are really gravitating towards, if not Dr. Paul himself, certainly what he's espousing. So let's go ahead and do some more goodies here. This is after the introduction. This was the first question. We're talking about the economy, and they're wondering, does Obama do anything right? Let's find out. Here we go.
Let's continue the conversation. I want to come to Congressman Paul. You're all here saying the President of the United States is making the economy worse. Has he done one thing? Has he done one thing right when it comes to the economy in this country?
Boy, that's a tough question. No, I can't think of anything, but may I answer the question that you alluded to before about whether or not 5% is too optimistic. No, there's nothing wrong without setting a goal of 5 or 10 or 15% if you have a free market economy. We're trying to unwind a Keynesian bubble that's been going on for 70 years, and you're not going to touch this problem until you liquidate the bad debt and the malinvestment, go back to work, but you have to have sound money. You have to recognize how we got into trouble. We got into trouble because we had a financial bubble, and it's caused by the Federal Reserve. If you don't look at monetary policy, we will continue the trend of the last decade. We haven't developed any new jobs in the last decade. Matter of fact, we've had 30 million new people and no new jobs. It's because the people don't understand monetary policy and central economic planning. Free markets will give you 10 or 15% growth or whatever, and you will not have to turn it off because you think it's going to cause inflation. It doesn't work that way.
I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to ask.
Yeah, let me jump in here. Shut the man up. I bet they're screaming in his ear. You know, shut him up. He's talking about Federal Reserve. This is, during the entire debate, as he was bringing this stuff up, you would think that the other people would, heck, you got one of the head Federal Reserve guys, Kansas City branch there, standing Herman Cain. Now, is he going to defend it? Is he going to say that we got to do? No. He's not going to directly, I think he did say something about, well, we worked at, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'm looking for someone that will come out, that will be acknowledging what the core values of what he's talking about. Is there anyone? They can't. Because the mere mention of a fundamental philosophical shift of what the proper role of government should be would excommunicate them from the field. That's exactly what would happen. And the more that they have in opposition, they think, keep in mind, we're dealing with a mindset of people that, have all the money, people that have the media, people that have all the pundits out there in cyberspace going blah, 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 newspapers, talk radio, they're just going at it. They believe that the volume of rhetoric in opposition to what Dr. Paul is talking about has weight just by the sheer volume. from our perspective and from those that are paying attention and those that are affected by the economy and so on, it just makes a bigger pile of crap for Dr. Paul's ruby to shine. Just by comparison, the more darker the night, the darker the void out there, the blackness of space, the more a light shines. The greater the darkness, the more it's penetrated by lighting a match. Dr. Paul is that light, or at least represents the light, and he understands that. He's very humble in making that clear. He is the representation of an old philosophy, a philosophy that is I own me. During the breaks and so on, Susanne from Helsinki, what's her name? Susanne Dahlgren. She was a PhD anthropologist, University of Helsinki, University of Edinburgh in London, and off air, she was very happy with the interview. She's probably surprised, a lot of the questions and what we were bringing up, things that maybe she hadn't talked about or had asked of her, or the line of questioning that she's done in other talk shows and so on. And even though, I got a phone bill. Yeah, you guys want to send me some money for the phone bill? You be my guest. Go to freedomsphoenix.com, look at join us, and it says, send me money here. Because, dang, man, I got a phone bill. I talk to these guys in Yemen and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Egypt and Iraq and Afghanistan and Helsinki, and so to get you this information, because where else are we going to get it? There's a lot of people got in the pit, but they haven't actually been there. They don't actually speak the language. They don't actually talk to the people, but they have contacts. The reason I talk to these people and I have them come on is to give them an opportunity not only to express themselves, but to get our opinion on this non-interventionist foreign policy that we are, I'll mention a little Ron Paul in there every now and then. Off air, I go, we're the revolutionaries here, blah, blah, blah. Freedom's Phoenix, go there. And we send them, after the interview, they get the URL of the show with the archive and the links and the MP3s, and then they forward those on. We also send them a packet of all of the Arabic-speaking Facebook, Twitter account that we have in Arabic, Haria Phoenix, which is Arabic for Freedom's Phoenix, the translated special edition that we have, all of this and the material that we send out, the Arabic version of Philosophy of Liberty, the translations of the flower-throwing guy, We Know the Truth, all Arabic translated, because each one of these people are a node in the grapevine, a root that goes out through the Arabic-speaking world at a time that they need to understand one thing. It's not about changing rulers. I need a new boss, new pharaoh. I own myself. The rest of that crap just comes from that base understanding. How do you forget that? All of a sudden, I changed my mind. I don't own myself anymore. This is the fundamental basic stuff that I know makes the difference, because I was these young people. It's late 80s. I'm young. I just want to know the truth. I'll prepare. I'll do just give me the truth. This is what Dr. Paul is able to do to millions of people, to provide them a pathway to the truth. And they'll go, what's the truth? It's a subjective thing. Well, let me tell you what's, not subjective. Lies. The truth, let me tell you what, it's definitely not. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. They're lying to me. That definitely isn't the truth. You may have, what you do with the facts and what might be your action, but just getting the facts about a situation, that's just not lies. That's the truth. Don't lie to me. Politics is about lying to you. It's about maneuvering you into a certain position. But I tell you, Dr. Paul, and we'll play some more when we come back, but I tell you, Dr. Paul helps clear away the mind fog. There is this veil, this fog, this confusion that's done intentionally to get you just where you're indecisive. What happens when you become decisive and you start making decisions for yourself? Oh, that's the beauty. We'll be right back.